Yesterday, I did a story on Instagram, and one of the biggest concerns that people have about selling their property is timing. When is the best time to sell their property? So today I'm going to answer a popular question that I get all the time, and the question is, when is the best time to sell my house? I'm going to talk about that now. Hey everyone, my name's Jamey Prezzi. I'm a real estate agent in Miami-Dade and Broward counties. I work with my husband, Ognjen Prezzi, and our team. Today, I'm going to talk to you about when is the best time to sell your house. But first, before I get started, if this is your first time here, hit that subscribe button so you never miss another update. We do put out new videos every week. Also, use the link in our information box and download our free relocation guide. You can also use the information in that information box to call, text, or email me. We're always here to be a resource for you. Okay, let's get started. Let's talk about one of the most popular times to sell a property and what people often think of as the best time to sell a home, and that is the spring. Now, I don't always agree with this time. In fact, I tend to be a little bit unconventional in my thinking on this, Ogden too, but we'll get back to that later. But the spring season is just one of those times of the year where people always think about selling. You're past the holidays, you're thinking about the summer. If you need to make a move at the end of the school year, you're like, okay, I'm going to put the property on the market in the spring, get it sold. By the time school's out, then we'll relocate, and that's everyone's plan for the spring. Also, you have to remember the United States is a big place, and usually the spring in many places means that the sun is out, the flowers are blooming, and life is just starting all over in the spring. But also you have to keep in mind that in Miami-Dade and Broward, it's kind of like that all year long. So that's why our season can be a little bit different. And that's why there's many opportunities to sell in Miami-Dade and Broward and not just focus on the spring season. Next up, the summer. Now, I have to tell you, this year kind of debunked my theory about the summer because the summer was always a little bit annoying for me because you have really busy weeks and then you have tedious, slow weeks. In fact, we often travel a lot over the summer because it feels a little bit slower just for us personally in our business than other times of the year. But this year we kind of stayed put because we were really busy over the summer. I think you have to be careful just focusing only on the summer because it is really hot here. People leave because it's so hot, and people start to travel a lot in the summer and they get a little bit distracted with, being out of school and vacations and things like that. So I wouldn't only just wait for the summer, but the summer can be good for people if they have to relocate and be somewhere else before school starts. Yet at the same time, you have to remember that not everyone has children in school. And so, if you have to get a property sold over the summer, okay, fine, do it. We can talk about the strategy for that. But the summer is typically not always my favorite time to sell, and I wouldn't hyper focus on that time to get a property sold if that's what you're waiting for, if you're just waiting for the summer. And I have another season that I think is even better. The fall and the winter. Now, these are two of my favorite months to list a property and also work with buyers. I think probably because it's not so darn hot outside. And that's one really good reason. But also, I love this time of the year because for both sellers and buyers, there's a lot less competition. Now, you have to go into selling and buying during this time with a very good strategy, but I think this time can be very advantageous for both. Number one, if you are a seller, there's going to be a lot less competition on the market in terms of other homes to compete against selling. And the reason why is because a lot of people are waiting until the spring to get their property sold. If you are a buyer, there are a lot fewer buyers out looking at properties this time of the year. But if you're a seller, the buyers who are out looking this time of the year are typically really serious buyers. Very often they have to have a transaction done before the end of the year. Maybe they're relocating for a job. They're working with a relocation company, and all this has to be done before the beginning of the year. I just find that for both buyers and sellers who are working this time of the year and are serious, it can be a great time to buy and sell real estate. So what's the conclusion to all of this? Well, it really just depends on the area where you want to buy or sell a property. And I think it's really important to look at the data, especially if you need to sell a property. You really need to have a look at the data with your agent and check the ebbs and flows to see kind of how the inventory drops. A lot of times people will say, oh, well, the inventory's dropped. There's no inventory. Well, I know that's good. That could be a really good time to put the property on the market. Yes, it may not be the busy spring season, but the buyers who are out this time of the year, i.e. fall, they're pretty serious buyers because they're on a mission to buy a property now. And you also have to remember that not everyone is following those trends. There's always a lot of different types of buyers throughout the year, and buyers who are serious, they're looking. Not everyone has kids in school, and not everyone is following that schedule. So I just think it's really important to not get caught up in those trends because you can really miss time and miss a really good opportunity to get a property on the market and get it sold when you actually need to get it sold instead of following the trends. And if you're a buyer and you need to buy a property now, I wouldn't wait for the spring because you're going to be competing against all the other buyers who are also waiting for the spring. So maybe time-wise it makes sense for you to wait, but maybe if you look at all the data, maybe it makes sense to go ahead and start now. I don't know. There's a lot to talk about during a seller strategy session and a buyer strategy session, and these are all the kind of details that we follow. If this is something that you would like to know more about and you're thinking about buying real estate in Miami-Dade or Broward, we would love the opportunity to chat with you. My name is Jamey Prezzi. This is my husband, Ognjen Prezzi. We love to help people buy and sell real estate in our area, and we're always here to be a resource for you. And we'll see you soon.